We're live. Yeah, we're live. So, good evening, everyone. I hope you're doing great. Today, DSC KIIT is back with another speaker for our DevTalks series. And I'm glad to announce that we have with us Mr. Nitin Aggarwal. He is a machine learning and artificial intelligence professional with more than 8 years of industry experience in deep learning, data science, business analytics, management consulting, product management, and software development. He is currently based in the San Francisco Bay Area, and he'll be talking to us about how to be productive during this time and make the most of it. So, let us welcome Mr. Nitin Aggarwal.
Cool. Thank you so much, everyone. So, hey, my name is Nitin, just like the team mentioned, and I'm currently technical PM at Cloud AI. My team is responsible for building cutting-edge AI ML solutions for our enterprise customers. So, for an example, if any Fortune 500 company they want to come on GCP, it's a Google Cloud platform, and they want to like co-innovate with Google. They want to solve any of their business problems using AI and ML. So it's my team. My team's responsibility that okay, we are going to build a solution for them, starting from prototype, ideation, and then like moving that particular thing into production, and then our partners can help them to scale them up and as well as to maintain that particular solution. Uh, that's my background. I'm in this particular field for last more than 7, 8 years. I'm really enjoying the work, the kind of work that we are doing, really new technology and all those things. When team reached out to me, I was a little bit confused that okay, hey, exactly what you people are expecting from me. I'm like, I have delivered number of sessions, but the majority of them are technical sessions. I found this thing pretty unique. So I thought that okay, hey, instead of making a targeted or you can say a monologue presentation, let's keep it a discussion. And I collected few of my thoughts that okay, hey, these are the points that I should be considerate of if somebody would have told me about these things 5 or 6 years before right now or when I started my career. So I thought that okay, let's discuss few of the points that we thought about. So these are the 5 point agenda that we are going to target. Introduction, I have already shared mine. The second point will be how business has already been changed with COVID-19, or how the things will change, or how what kind of requirements that business will be asking for, what kind of a skills that you should be building and how you can build those skills, what kind of an artifacts that's going to help you out either to get a job or either to build something out of your career. And you can say that okay, yes, hey, this is some tangible thing or tangible asset that I can share with anybody, like whether it will be an industry experts or within your college, within your companies, anybody else, that okay, yes, these are things that I have built. And then we can start for an open discussion, and you can share your experiences, and if you want to ask any questions, please feel free to do that. If you see that okay, hey, the business has already been changed either because of a COVID, either because of the technology, but you can see the recent changes because of all this kind of a crazy times. Business has drastically changed, and we can say a pivoting factor. Previously, or you can say a couple of years down the line, it was a lot of in-person collaboration. That okay, me and my friend, me and my colleague, we used to sit together like in one bay or within a one building or within a one floor, and we do a lot of collaboration, asking questions to each other, like sharing our experiences. If we want to like build any sort of a project, we used to do that. So we are here we're talking about the concept of a localization, that okay, yes, the team we are working on, they are localized, and yes, we are working together and we are very, very productive. To build these kind of a systems and to work in this kind of a system, you will need a very, very different sort of a technical skill set. When talking about a technical skill set, it's about that okay, hey, what kind of a things that you need, whether you need to know Java, whether you need to know .NET, whether you need to do something else. Your servers are internal, your servers are on-prem, and you are working and building stuff out of it. If we just take like 3 or 4 years down the leap, we are saying that okay, today is the world of virtual collaboration. There are so many virtual collaborative tools out there. If you talk about the Office 365, we talk about the Google Docs, Google Excel sheets, and few other things. So that particular localization has already been converted into the globalization, and a global split of technological stack came into the picture. That okay, hey, right now we do not need any system, any on-prem systems. That okay, yes, now we need a global system that can be shared across different countries, or you can say across the boundaries. People are working on one document, but it's not like one individual person is working on one document. 5 or 10 people are like continuously and consistently working on the same document, providing comments and resolving comments. So the kind of a things, the kind of a skill sets that were asked has already been changed. The second thing is how business has already understood only technical skill set is not going to work out. We also need some kind of a domain skills, that okay, yes, business always runs on a domain knowledge. So what kind of a domain knowledge that we can embed within the students, within a few people, that yes, so that they will be identified that these are the problems that we can solve using technology. If we take again like 3 or 4 years or 10 years down the lane, or a leap phase of that, if we talk about the future, it's about multicultural partnerships. It's not just the collaboration, it's like a partnerships where you say that, okay, hey, a small person is built by team one, and another person will be built by a team too. And the kind of a system that will be needed, it will be a cloud-based generic technology. If you see that, okay, how the technology stack has been collated or consolidated. We started with like 15, 20 different programming languages. Now we are consolidating into a 3 or 4 or 5. And now we are seeing that, okay, over a period of a time, there will be a GCP, Google Cloud, you can say, Azure, AWS, IBM. Few of the public cloud providers will be there, and that will be capturing and providing a very generic tech stack where you will be working on. The most important point is that, okay, the kind of a skill sets that's needed in this particular environment has been already changed. So now we're not saying that, okay, like companies are not focusing a lot on the tech skill set or domain. Rather, they are saying that, okay, hey, do you have a problem solving skill set or not? So that, okay, if I'm going to put you into a very new environment, whether you will be getting able to deliver things or not. So that's how the business has already been changed, or it will be changing. And for these kind of a business, a new skill set will be required. If we typically see that, okay, whenever we'll start building any sort of a skills, this is how a typical curve looks like. If I plot happiness on a time, when I start building any sort of a skill set, my happiness goes down till I find my eureka moment that yes, this is a point where I know something, I'm pretty confident, and suddenly my happiness curve goes up. So this is a typical scenario of a global minima. You can say like an AIML global minima, it's the ubiquitous, or you can say a utopian world for us. But if we move from like a global minima to local minimas, we are saying that, okay, hey, we do not need that sort of a deep curve. Rather, what we are looking out for, that over a period of a time, my happiness goes down. I should work on few of the projects, few of the new skill sets, and I should show on based on few artifacts so that, okay, my happiness goes back again and I get more confidence. And then again, it will plateau a bit. Again, I will after that I will explore something else, and it will again go up. So instead of identifying or getting a one global minima, we should be targeting a local minimas. The word has been changed. Previously, it's all started with jack of all trades, and it moved towards specializations. Now we are moving into a work stream where people or industries are asking for jack of all trades and master of one. So instead of targeting a T-based approach or like a one-depth approach, you need to target to build your career in V-based approach, where you as a specialist or a master in one of the skill set, but you know like little bit on each and everything. I'm from AI and ML background, so I can give you a quick example, like a sneak peek in operational ML. So these days, what we have seen that, okay, lot many people, they are only focusing on writing a machine learning code, like a building a machine learning model. But if you see that, okay, how an end-to-end system looks like, it has so many different options, starting from data ingestion, model selection, model building, then maintaining it, serving and building a batch pipeline, automations, monitoring. So this an end-to-end system that we're calling it as an operational ML or ML ops. That's a new term came into the picture. So if you're only targeting like that typical building and machine learning model, writing an ML code, you will not be able to capture a lot of the ground. So you will be just focusing on 5 to 10%. So I'm not saying that, okay, hey, just focus on each and everything. But the thing is, whenever you're building a machine learning code, you should be very, very aware of that, okay, hey, how this thing is going to impact your end-to-end systems, how what are the basic requirements. Because for an example, if you are building a machine learning model on a huge GPU systems, but I'm saying that, okay, hey, I do not need that, my customers are not for that, and my requirements is we need to build a machine learning model on the edge. So in that case, my data ingestion will change, my model selection will change, and my deployment will change. So everything will change. So if I have not considered that particular thing while writing that particular model, then everything will go haywire and it's not going to work out. So what we are saying, whenever we are building any sort of a skill set, build a full spectrum of skills. Definitely focus on one part, but be very, very aware and concerned of that, yes, how a full spectrum looks like. So if you are saying that, okay, hey, how AI and ML looks like, do not just focus on the machine learning, also focus on the development, also focus on the operations. At the moment, even if you see that more than 80 to 85% of the models are not moving into the production and they are just a data science projects, that's not going to generate a value for the organization, and they are not going to generate a value for you as well in long term. Whenever you're building any sort of a skill set, build a full spectrum. So if we see that, okay, hey, what are things that we should target? What are the things that we should be very, very well aware of? So when I like think deeply about that particular thing, I can think about top three things. First thing that, okay, take courses and build your skill sets. I do not have like an IIT or you can say an Harvard or Stanford degree where I did my bachelor's or engineering. I came from like a tier two or tier three college. I know that, okay, yes, at that point of a time, we have very, very limited resources where I can learn from one of the best. But nowadays, we have like everything. We have Udemy, we have Coursera, we have Udacity, we have edX. If you want to get an exposure from any of the top priorities, you can say any of the top notch institutes, top notch professors, you can do that. Take those courses and build your skill sets. Second thing is, it's not just about the skill set. You have to solve problems to build your brand. Is that okay? Hey, try to build some artifacts. Either it can be a code base, either it can be a presentation, either it can be a document. But it's like that, okay, hey, this is a thing that I have already solved and organizations can use it, businesses can use it. Only then you will be able to build your brand. And the third thing is that, okay, you have to build your network. Like you're saying, your network is your net worth. Build a good network, identifying and trying to, like, you can say, search for a mentor. That, okay, hey, can this person can mentor me, ask him or her. The thing is, definitely, I know the overall response rate will be hardly 2 to 3%. But again, if you will be reaching out to 100 people and like one or two people are responding and they're agreeing to mentor you, I think you have already won. So in that case, that you have to build your network so that you can rely on them and you can get some real life experiences. The competitions that we usually participate in that are very, very different as what the problems that we are solving in business domain. Let's double click on each and every point. So when we are saying that, okay, hey, how can you build your skill set? I will suggest that first start learning with the technical basics. Select your focus area, select your interest, and dig deep into that particular thing. Learn basics of the technical domain, whether it be a programming language, statistics, or mathematics, or data structures, or parallel computing, or whatever it will be. Try to learn as much as possible across from various domains and on various industries. The second and the most important point is how to scale. Cloud is the future. You have to take it with a pinch of salt that cloud is the future and you should and you must explore at least one of the public cloud. Whether it will be GCP, Azure, AWS, and IBM. I will say GCP is awesome because that's my company, that's my employer. But I personally believe that, okay, GCP it's awesome. You have to learn how to scale. You cannot solve a problem on your computers, on your laptops. That's not going to scale it up. You have to learn that, okay, yes, how to scale things and how to build particular things where you can solve a larger problems in a larger scenario. The third thing is domain knowledge. Learn about at least one or two domains. I'm not saying that, okay, you have to dig deep inside particular things. Like from your experience, you are just like, yeah, undergraduate engineers at the moment. But definitely you should start exploring some of the stuff that, yes, hey, how the marketing skills look like, why, what kind of a things that will come into the marketing, what are the different things, how a supply chain looks like, and in particular, you can say a boxes in the supply chain, what kind of a problems that I can solve. It will increase the horizon of your mindset that, okay, hey, what kind of a things that you can do and how can you use your technical skill set to solve a real business life problem. And the fourth and the most important point is the collaboration. The time has gone where you will be leading like an effort, you will be leading a project on your own, you are delivering an end-to-end stuff. No, that's not going to happen. You always work as a team. You have to understand, you have to learn that how to divide and how to conquer, that how you are going to work in a team, how you are going to trust each other, and how you are going to transition one person to another person, and how you can generate maximum value out of things. These are the top 4 points that I will suggest on building a skill set. Learn technical basics, take Coursera courses or any other stuff. Scale, learn about cloud technologies. Third, learn a little bit about the domain knowledge so that you can know how your technical skill set will be used. And finally, about the collaboration, that you know how to work with a team and how to work with a team. The second important point is build your brand. How you can build your brand. The first thing is, and the foremost that came into my mind, build a technical artifact. Build your public repository, public GitHub, compete in a Kaggle competition, publish your kernels, so that you can share some things that, okay, hey, this is a particular problem that I have already been solved. GitHub can be a good place to start because this is one of the industry standard. Definitely, you can build your repository. Recruiters are literally looking out for. If you are sharing your GitHub repository rather than sharing your resume, you will be taken more seriously than like just writing some artifacts that, yes, hey, I have done this thing. The second point is compete, enroll in public competitions. I'm in AIML domain, so I know like much more about that particular stuff. Compete on a Kaggle competition so that you can brag about that. Okay, this is you can say the solution that I published. This is the rank that I got. You can also compete in Google Code Jam, ICPC. These are the few other examples. But while you're competing these sort of competitions, you can see that yes, what other people are doing, what are the things, what are the different best practices that they are focusing on, so that you will be able to learn those things just outside of your you can say regular education or college education. Third thing is contribute. People admire those people a lot if you are contributing in in public code base, in some open source. You can also like contribute in Google GSOC, Google Summer of Code, so that you can say that, hey, this is a piece of a code that I have written and now it's available in public. You can take it, you can fork that particular repository, and then you can use it and you can build on the top of it. So whenever you're building your brand, try to publish as many artifacts as possible, compete on some of the public online competitions, and contribute to the open source so that you will be getting some good visibility out of it. Third thing about that, okay, hey, you have to build your network. You have to connect with the right people. Uh, my favorite is LinkedIn. Build a robust LinkedIn profile. Share what the things that you have already done. Share what your goals are. What are things that you want to learn, and share your artifacts. Connect with the right people so that you can ask for a right mentorship. But whenever you're going to ask, you have to ask for it. Nobody will directly come to you. Ask that, okay, hey, this is the kind of a work that I've already been done. This is the kind of a work that I'm looking out for. And can you be my mentor? This is a value that I can add. And I just want to learn from a business, so that you will be getting some life experience. You can get some real time industry experience from solving a problem. When you're competing in a competitions, you're only focusing on improving accuracies or improving some of the metrics. But when you're working in a business domain, when you're solving a real problem, the things are very, very different. You will be targeting something different. You will be targeting something else. And there are so many roadblocks. There are so many catches that you cannot just understand if you are just competing in a competition. This kind of a mentorship is going to add that specific value a lot. The third point is give. The thing is, you will find it really amusing that, okay, hey, nobody is just going to provide you something for free. There are no free lunches. That's the harsh reality. So you have to provide, you have to give some value. You can say that, okay, hey, this is a value that I can generate. This is a problem that I'm currently solving. If you think that, okay, I can add value, I will be more than happy to help. You can try your luck in freelancing. Definitely you can try for some free projects so that you can get some real exposure. You will be able to build those artifacts. And again, it will go back to that, okay, yes, build your technical skill sets and as well as build your own brand. You can also try solving a problem that, okay, hey, this is your project. I can solve this particular problem for you. And this is how you should be solving. And this way you will be able to increase your overall impact by 10x, 100x or 1000x instead of just targeting on one problem. And you can also scale those things up. After that, like these are the some quick favorite, my favorite courses and certifications, like few of the things. Mm, I will suggest if you are in machine learning, these certifications courses are specifically in AIML. I started with machine learning delivered by Andrew Ng. He is one of my idols. Stanford, really interesting course, very deep dive into the mathematics and few other stuff. I really admired those ones. These days, I'm also exploring and venturing out and learning about operational research. So I found this particular course really good, discrete optimization by the University of Melbourne. If you're really excited and if you're really interested to learn a little bit about the public cloud and that, okay, how it works, how things work, how you can build stuff over there, how the code structure looks like, what are the different products, what are the different techniques that you can do, how this particular domain like an AIML or even the code base that has been increased. Even you can see that, okay, hey, how the Docker containers has been changed, how the Google is implementing those stuff. So I will suggest that take these courses on Google Cloud, like Advanced ML with TensorFlow on GCP and Smart Analytics, Machine Learning and AI on GCP. I'm also recommending those ones as a marketing tone for them because I delivered some of the sessions for these courses. I also find this AI for medicine course really good. If you will be taking and if you will be like investing some of your time in these sort of courses, you can understand that yes, hey, how you can implement this particular technology in this particular domain. If you're going to take this particular course, you can understand that yes, in medicine, like for an example, in processing EHR, electronic health records, in processing radiology, in processing CT scans and X-rays, what are the things that you can do and how you can implement and how you can like take advantage of your technical skill set and how these kind of a problem looks like. I'm not a big fan of certificates, but definitely I found like these two certificates really good because I have already taken them. First thing is about TensorFlow certification. If you're working in AIML domain, TensorFlow is one of the holy grail at the moment. It's one of the, we can say, the largest repository, and it's like the most famous repository by Google. It's open source. So if you're really interested to show that yes, hey, I have really capability in TensorFlow, take this particular certification. It's pretty quick, not very expensive. I found it really good. And the second thing is, if you want to like try something out in public domain, like in public cloud provider domain, you can try these kind of a certification like professional data engineer by Google Cloud, where you can say that, yes, hey, I know how to implement things and I know how to scale those things up using cloud. This is like the certification that I know definitely there will be certifications from AWS, from Azure, from other public cloud provider, from Watson, IBM Watson as well. It's your goal that okay, hey, what kind of a things, what kind of a skill set that you want to use. But majority of the cloud providers, specifically in Google Cloud, majority of the things are open source. So the kind of a things, the kind of a skill set that you will be getting while learning that particular thing, that's scalable and that's transferable as well. So if you are moving away from one cloud provider to another cloud provider, it's not like that you need to start from the scratch. You will be taking a lot of learnings from one place to another place. So that's like a quick presentation. I found that a little bit of monologue. So thank you so much, everybody, for joining. I know it's already very late in India and it's Sunday as well. So let's have an open discussion. If you have any comments, any questions, any thoughts that you want to discuss, please.
So yeah, Nitin, sir, there's one thing we should address that it's almost past 10 in the night, and we have a crowd of 50 students who are willing to ask you questions. So that's a great thing. So we'll proceed ahead with our Q&A session. Akash Sharma wants to ask, can you suggest any activities that can help us improve soft skills too while maintaining social distancing?
That's an interesting thing. So what we did, like usually in Google, we are having, for an example, virtual water cooler chats, or you can say we usually meet as a group and we discuss a lot many things. So definitely things has been changed. If you're talking about the soft skills, it depends exactly what kind of a things that you're talking about. Whether you're talking about like writing skills, whether you're talking about your spoken skills. So what I would suggest that okay, yes, connect it as a group. Take advantage of free Google Meet or these kind of virtual conferencing tools. Start working on those one, talk to your group, discuss, take any things. For an example, we are having our study groups. So we take any book every week. Somebody like create a quick presentation on one chapter and discuss it with everybody. So that okay, hey, you are splitting up your all of your efforts and you will be able to cover that one particular machine learning book or any other book within a month or 2 months. So in that case, you will be getting two advantages. First thing is you will be getting learning, and you need not to read like the full book by yourself. You're learning with the help of others. And the second thing is because you will be building presentations, you will be explaining things that's going to help you out to build your soft skills as well.
Okay, so Pritip Chakrabarti wants to ask, is Spring Cloud used with Spring bots these days in the industry?
Mm, I'm so sorry. I'm not aware of the Spring Cloud. Can you clarify this particular thing? Like,
Okay, so let's hope that Pritip Chakrabarti will elaborate about his question. We'll move on to the next question till then. Debashish Chandra wants to ask, is it necessary for us to know the cutting edge technologies to land a job in product based companies, or only problem solving is enough?
that's a good question actually. So what I will suggest that okay, hey, if you are looking out for any sort of a product-based company, so definitely say, if I can say that I have a problem-solving skills, how will you justify it, and how will you be able to identify it? I need something to get foot into the door. These kind of a product companies, they are getting like millions of resumes every week or every month. So you need something bare minimum that yes, this will provide me foot into the door. The second thing is that okay, hey, if you will say that I want to solve a real problem and I'm really interested in this particular technology, it means if you're interested, you have already worked and you know that how this particular thing works. I'm not expecting that okay, you will be an expert, but definitely you have already explored it. So I will say that yes, only problem solving skills or knowing only the cutting edge technology, that's not going to work out. You need like an amalgamation of both of them. That what kind of a things, whether it will be 50-50, whether it will be 60-40, that's your call, but you will need both of them.
Okay, so Pradyumn wants to ask, what should be the approach to ask a professional to mentor you?
So it's like currently I'm mentoring a couple of people, like no, not in India specifically, but yes, from US universities. So I actually like the way that how they approached me. So I can give like share my personal example. I'm getting like more than 500,000 messages every week. Like on an average, I'm getting more than 50-60 messages every day. So I cannot parse everything. I cannot read like each and every message in detail. So I only capture that okay, here this particular message that I found interesting. Some of the trends, some of the patterns that I found for the applications that I accepted for the mentorship, that they shared their GitLab repository or GitHub repository that okay, hey Nitin, we are doing this kind of a stuff. We are interested in this thing. We have already solved these kind of a problems. We are interested in solving in these things. Do you have any projects for those or not? And I found that okay, yes, I already had those sort of a projects available, like that I was currently working on that. So I found a way, I onboarded them, and that's how I started mentorship them. Now they are building that particular thing, and we may be using some portions of it in our open source domain, and as well as like publishing on our repositories as well with their name. So that's kind of a trend that I found. So I hope that okay, the kind of a similar situation other professionals will be facing. So I will suggest that yes, talk to them, share your stuff instead of just asking them. Like provide an option to give it to them that okay, this kind of a stuff that I've already done, and do you have anything else where I can contribute?
Okay, so Pritip is back with his elaboration. Spring
Mhm,
Boot is using Java for managing Spring framework in web technologies.
mhm.
So he wants to know if Java is used as a backend service for the web technologies in industries.
It's being used. So Java is currently being used. C++ is currently being used. Some of the core system, if you're talking about like optimization, something, if you're talking about like reinforcement learning, the few of the stuff like, or you can say a lot of stuff are still in the Java and as well as C++. What I should suggest that okay, the kind of a system that we are currently building, we are preferring Python because the thing is the community is very strong. All the frameworks, whether it's like a TF 2.0, whether it's like a TF 1.6 or any of the frameworks that are compatible with Python. So that's why that part like Python is getting a lot of you can say traction these days. And if you're saying that okay, you know that particular language, that's going to give you a lot of competitive advantage. But I'm not just denying that okay, hey, Java, C++, or those kind of, or even like an Objective C, they're not in use. They are in use definitely. They are still famous if you are building some backends or you are building some backend systems. They are being used. But like Python is getting prominence these days.
Okay, so Abhishek wants to ask what's the difference between using microservices like GKE, the Google Kubernetes engine, and cloud functions on GCP?
So there's significant difference. Like both of these two things are very much different. If you're talking about a GK, you're saying that okay, hey, you are building some container-based systems, and cloud functions are specifically to capture a trigger. That okay, if you're making like if you're uploading any image or if you're uploading any data points to GCS bucket, Google Cloud Storage bucket, you want to trigger or if you want to capture that particular event, and then you want to trigger any job. So these two things are a little bit different. So if you are building any microservices architecture, GKE and cloud functions both will have their own place. You can say that okay, hey, as soon as if I will get my data, I'm using some PubSub, any PubSub event to capture any messaging. After that PubSub, I'm like routing it to the data flow to process those things, like to streamline it and then saving the data in GCS. As soon as the GCS will kick in, it will trigger a cloud function, and then I need to run my model on GK. So these two things are totally different. It all depends on okay how you're using it.
Okay, Supratim Sarkar has a question. Why does GCP have more popularity than AWS or Linode?
Thank you so much, Subratam. I think yeah, we have more popularity because GCP has more people like me. So that's on a lighter note. I don't know exactly, but the thing is, I personally believe GCP has a very strong technology stack. The kind of innovations that we are doing in machine learning and artificial intelligence, they are really good. And I personally believe these are my personal thoughts. Do not quote me over this. That okay, these are the Google's thoughts, but definitely I personally believe the kind of results that we are getting. I personally did a lot of development. I compared the results that I'm getting from other public cloud providers. We're getting really good results over there as well. So I think that can be one of the reasons GCP is getting more popularity over there. But I'm still figuring out that okay, what are the reasons behind it? I'm so sorry.
Okay, Anshul Chaudhary wants to ask, do research internships help for getting a job in top-notch companies?
It depends, Anshul, actually. The thing is, it depends actually what you want to do. If you want to like move into the research side, if you want to be like a research scientist, if you wanted to be a quantitative analyst like we have in data scientists that's asking for a PhD, definitely these kind of internships will help. Even like if these kind of internships will help if you want to be a software engineer, data scientist, or machine learning engineer, AI engineer, and oh my god, like so many titles over there. So definitely that's going to help you out. It's all about that what kind of a work that you are doing. I personally believe titles doesn't matter. It's only about the kind of a work that you have done, the kind of an artifacts that you have created, and the kind of a deliverables that you have generated. Only that thing matters. How you're justifying it, it's okay. Even if like you're doing your research internship, if you're just writing an article, that doesn't make sense to me.
Okay, Ashutosh Kar wants to ask, can a fresher be recruited as ML or AI engineer in product-based companies?
Yeah, why not, Ashutosh? Yeah, definitely, why not? So what do you expect that? Okay, hey, if nobody will be a fresher and no company will like accept a fresher, then how they will get an experience? Definitely, like even like in Google, we are getting so many freshers, not just like at engineering level, like a BE, BTech level. We are also getting so many freshers at MS or MTech level. So definitely MBA has some experience, but that's like a totally different domain. We are talking about the consultancy and a few other stuff. So definitely companies even like Google, Microsoft, Amazon. Even I personally know I took so many interviews, like even like interviews for the freshers, and we are accepting so many engineers, so many people in ML and AI domain. Yeah, but definitely like I just mentioned, you need throw things that okay, you need to show that you have a skill set. You should be having an artifact. You need to build your brand, and you know how to things work out. But definitely all product companies accepting it.
Okay, so Harsh Kumar has a question. Which is better, GCP, AWS, or Azure for cloud computing? I think that's
Uh,
quite redundant.
I personally believe GCP. Go for it, man. It's an amazing thing. So yeah.
Okay. Biplab Mishra wants to ask, please say something field related to graphic designing.
Biplab, you caught me here. So I have very limited experience in graphic designing. So I think I may not be the best person to respond to that particular question, and I don't want to like route you to some wrong place. So I'm so sorry. I will not comment over it. I'm sorry.
Okay, that's good. Akash Sharma wants to ask, can you tell us some more about product management roles? It's a really high paying profile, and our freshers hire for that role straight out of BTech.
Interesting question. So see, the PM role is like that. Okay, hey, PM acts like a glue in a product. That okay, in a product that okay, PM is responsible for building strategies, and they are responsible for driving that okay how the product looks like, and engineers are the one who are actually building it. I will slightly disagree that okay, it's a high-paying profile. So I know that okay, the kind of a thing that we usually discuss when we are getting any sort of placements or a job. It's not just about a high-paying profile. It's about that okay, what kind of a work that you can do. Are freshers hired for that role straight out of the BTech? It depends. The kind of a skills that you're carrying, the kind of a things that you have done. Like I have seen so many like engineers just out as a fresher. They joined associate product manager at Google as well, APM. That's like one of and that particular program is specifically for freshers BTech. So you can try that particular thing out. So you need to test that okay, what kind of a skill set will be needed because you need to strategize a few things. So it's your call. Definitely you can do that. High paying or not, all the best. You can check and you can come back to me as well that okay whether you got it or not.
Aman Sahu wants to ask, as a student, it gets really stressful to learn DSA and other subjects, learning technologies, and by your advice, learning deployment. What is one supposed to do in such stress? How to make a decision to proceed forward?
Interesting point. So that's why like I specifically mentioned that particular call. Like your happiness will go down over a period of a time if you're learning these kind of a technologies. So what I will suggest that okay, yes, this stress is good. I will not suggest that okay, it's a stress. It's a challenge. Your happiness level is currently down. But the thing is, you have to understand that these things are necessary. You need to identify that yes, hey, whether this is a right field for me or not. You over a period of a time you will start enjoying those things. I'm not saying that okay, hey, just move over the book and learn each and everything, but you should be very well aware of how things are changing. If you see that okay how I started working on it, I started my career in c#.net. I started like building things on C++, moved to c#.net. I never worked on Java actually. After that I moved on JavaScript, and after that I moved on Perl, and after that I moved on SAS, and after that I moved on Python, and that's how I like keep continuously learning new technologies. This particular world is very dynamic. You have to learn new technologies, otherwise you will be obsolete. I'm so sorry for that strong word, but you will be obsolete very soon. So it's like that. Just enjoy. I will not say it's a stress. It's a challenge. Over a period of a time, you will start enjoying things out. And after that, I know things will be open ended. If you need any help, if you think that okay, yes, hey, how to prioritize, you can ping me, and some other professionals will be more than happy to help you out. But just give yourself some time.
So I think we are at the last question. Saswat Mukherjee wants to ask, what sort of applications are very well suited for a Kubernetes deployment? When is it really required?
That's a good question, Satsuraj. The thing is, in my experience, there are so many applications. So, for an example, that okay, hey, the project that I have worked on, that you need to identify, you need to process your lung, like a CT scan of a lungs, and in that case, you need to identify that okay, where there some are hemorrhages or not, like some blood clots or not. So, in that particular project, you can say that okay, you need to build a model that should auto scale. So, any application that requires auto scaling, that requires like minimum deployment infrastructure so that okay everything will be managed by some third party, so you need to use that Kubernetes specifically in that particular moment. anything where you can say that, okay, hey, I've already trained a model, it should be like adding more nodes automatically. In that case, Kubernetes will be really good. So you need to identify that, okay, yes, what kind of infrastructure that you will need, what kind of a problem that you are solving. If you're saying that, okay, hey, I'm only solving a problem of demand forecasting, that you are just ingesting your sales data and you're proceeding and you are getting just output your sales forecast for next few months or for next few weeks. So if that's the thing, you do not need a Kubernetes deployment. You can directly do it on like on a virtual machines or anything else. So it only depends when you need some auto scaling capabilities, easy maintenance. In that case, Kubernetes are really helpful.
Okay, Himanshu Mahal wants to ask, what kind of work in ML have you done before and after joining Google?
And that's an interesting thing, Himanshu. I've done like a lot of work before joining Google. I used to like lead a team at Excel services. I used to work on healthcare analytics to identify that, okay, yes, hey, what kind of a calls that we are getting from the healthcare customers, that whether we can improve their first time resolution, that they need not to make any call. Can we predict what kind of a questions that they are going to ask in their subsequent calls? So what are the topics, whether they are getting happy or not, what are the sentiments from the ongoing call or not? So those sort of like a projects that I worked on before joining Google. After joining Google, I changed my domain and I started my career in AdWords, like to identify spam. So I was working to identify that, okay, hey, if this particular ad is compliant to Google policy or not. These days, I'm currently working with so many enterprise customers, so I'm venturing out a lot on the healthcare stuff and as well as like a lot of technical stuff, like processing documents. If you are sending a document, if you click a picture of a document, can you convert that document into an e-document automatically or not? Can you identify a signature or not? Can you identify a name of the patient, or you can say the name of the person who created the document, and few other stuff. So you can say that, okay, the different kind of projects that I have worked on before and after joining Google.
Okay, Anshul Chaudhary wants to ask, does Google see CGPA or GPA during recruitment or only on skill sets? Do they hire people?
Yes. A brilliant question, Anshul. So the thing is, if you see that if you Google Tesla, I think they have already removed their bare minimum requirements of a degree as well. See, the thing is that be practical. Just consider that, okay, if you are the recruiting managers or HR from Google and you are getting, for an example, 1,000, or if I'm going to give you like 1,000 resumes, and I will say that, okay, hey, Anshul, you have only one day and I just need 10 resumes because I can interview only 10 people. You need some filters. How will you create those filters, right? You need to create some sort of a gates, like an entry gates, or you can say a barrier, so that people have to follow that particular thing. So either it can be a CGPA, GPA, whether it will be like your skill set, whether it will be like that, okay, for an example, either you're coming from like a GSOC, Google Summer of Code, that particular route, either you're coming from like an open programming competition, either you're coming from your campus placements, you're coming from a CGPA, GPA. So you need some sample barriers. So you will say that, okay, hey, I have a skill set. How will you prove it, right? You have to prove it. So I will not say that, okay, CGPA, GPA doesn't matter at all, but it has some impact. It may not have some impact. It depends what kind of a profile that you have.
Okay, Aman Sahu is back with a follow-up question. So, do we do this one at a time? I'm assuming he's talking about learning data structures, algorithms, and learning technologies and learning deployment, or to progress to another after completion of another, or do multitasking. And his other point is, should his end goal be a college placement or beyond that?
So, Aman, I will suggest that, okay, it's your career. You have to plan for it. If you see my profile, I never started with Google as like a campus placement. So the thing is, you have to think like that, okay, your career is a marathon. It's not like a sprint that, okay, hey, you have to achieve within a year. Think about like that, okay, yes, what kind of a things that you want to do 3 or 5 or 10 years down the line. It may be possible that, okay, you will not be getting a top-notch companies right away, but you will be getting like top-notch companies 2 or 3 years down the line after getting some experience. In my perspective, multitask, it's a fad. I don't believe in multitasking. These are my personal thoughts. I think that, okay, you have to focus on few, like something. After finishing that, you need to move into the thing so that you can ingest maximum energy as well as maximum focus on that particular thing. So it's your call that, okay, how you want to be, how you want to like frame your career or how you want to mold your career. I'm not a big fan of multitasking, but definitely that, okay, whether you want to target your college placements, I know if I'm going to say that, okay, hey, don't do it, you will say that, okay, hey, Nitin, you're talking bullshit. But no, that's not the thing. I'm saying that, okay, yes, definitely target your college placements, but do not forget about a long-term goal that's lying at the horizon.
Okay. Ishika Bhaumik has a question. Are research based internships helpful in placements?
I think, Ishika, we already targeted this particular question. It only depends that, okay, what kind of a work that you have done. See, these kind of internships that can provide you a foot into the door. That yes, I have done this particular stuff. But in the interviews, you have to answer the questions. You have to answer that, okay, hey, what kind of a things that you can do, what kind of a capabilities, what kind of a skill sets that you are carrying. Whether it's helpful in placements or not, it's your luck. I'm not very sure, but definitely that if you are sharing that this is the experience that I'm carrying, this is the internship or the work that I have done, people are going to ask the questions on it. If you will be able to field that question or not, I think it all depends upon the work that we have done. So it is your call. Whatever things that you will be adding in your resume, in your CV, in your biodata, and everything, people are going to ask questions on it.
Okay. Amrit Dash has a question. So personally, I've worked on few projects where people are really confused about what GCP services does the project require. So often this results in over budgeting. How can he manage that?
So that's an interesting thing. So Amrit, if you say that, okay, hey, you're not very clear. So before building any solutions, this is like a best practice where you will be building an architecture. So that's why the technical design document came into the picture where you are visualizing how an end-to-end stuff looks like. That, okay, starting from a data ingestion to finally like deployment or building a microservice architecture. You need to define what kind of a services that you will be using, what will be the input schema, what will be the output schema, how they will be connected, how much data will be flowed across that one, how many API calls that will be needed, and based on that you will be doing some budgeting that, okay, yes, this will be like the fixed cost building these stuff including services, and after that over a period of a time this will be the opex, or you can say this will be like the expenditure over a period of a time. So I will suggest that, okay, do that sort of a planning for your project so that you will be understood that yes, hey, this particular project is going to take, for an example, 500k as an initial investment to build a solution, and another 500k over like a period of 2 or 3 years. In that case, you will build that sort of a budgeting that is going to help you out. And definitely, if you're using few of the GCP services, GCP products, that's going to give you some estimates that, okay, hey, for this particular thing, this is how, or this is the cost that you need to occur. And if you want to use it, I think I will highly recommend use GCP service price calculator. Use a calculator, put everything, and it will provide you a very good estimate that, okay, hey, what are the budgeting that you should be expecting.
Okay, so Sayanath wants to ask, competitive programming is given more importance than work experience in the domain of ML or AI engineering in Google. Is that true?
I don't know, like where are you coming from? I'm not very sure. Like I have taken like a lot of interviews. I always prefer that, okay, what kind of an experience that you're carrying, for sure. Competitive programming is good because that can provide you a gateway. But I will suggest that, okay, hey, if I will be like competing against in a competition, or if I will be getting like a good real life experience working in a company, I will prefer the later. So it all depends like that. Okay, I'm not completely agree with that point that, okay, hey, competitive programming is more important, but definitely it will provide you that sort of you can an entry gate. But it all depends what kind of an experience that you're getting. If you're saying that, okay, hey, you're getting an experience just to write like a test set, that's not going to work out. You need some really really good experience.
Okay, so with that, I think we are done with our Q&A session. Uh, Really, thank you, Nitin, sir, for coming with us today for this online webinar. And I can tell that all the questions asked by our students have been answered in very detail, and all of us must be very satisfied. So,
Cool. Thank you
I'm
so much, team, and yeah, thank you so much, like, for all the efforts for organizing it. And I think it's a really fun experience. Thank you so much for having me here, and all the very very best. Stay safe and take care of each other. Let me know if you have any questions, anything else. You can reach out to me on LinkedIn. You can see my handle over there, and I will try my best to reply as much comments to as much messages as possible. All the very very best.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, take care.
So, with that, we are done with our webinar, or so to say, DevTalk series for today. And DSC Kit will be back with another webinar pretty soon. And till then, follow our Instagram handle, Facebook, and YouTube, and stay tuned. Good night, guys.